Howdy folks, welcome back to the HTML tutorial series. This is Randy. Let's get started where we left off. Okay, first of all we're trying to make the scaffolding for this page, and we're using what are called block elements, and this is fundamental to HTML. So we're going over the basics, all the different rules for them, and there aren't really that many. It's pretty simple. So let's begin here. As you can see, I made a comment for this, and all that means is that I can see this code, other people can't see this code. So you place your comment in between these symbols, get a less than, exclamation point, dash dash, then you put the comment, then again you put dash dash, and then the greater than sign. This time, no exclamation point. It's just a little thing to memorize. You can figure it out. Just practice it yourself. And these are, like I said, these are notes that you put to yourself in case you don't know. So let's start filling in the content of this page. So what I want is a list. So I'm going to put a list like so. I'm using a DL list. There's other types of lists also. There's a UL list, there's an OL list. You can look those up. And they all look pretty similar. The biggest difference is that the ordered list is numbered. So anyway, look at the basic structure here of the definition list. Every list is going to have list items, and you add them like so with the LI tags. And I want to have 5 of these, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to put a title on this list box. In this case, since the theme is Latin lessons, I'm going to use noun conjugation. If you don't know what that is, don't worry. And now I'm going to fill in the content of this and conjugate a noun. Okay, and there we have it, folks. There's the first part of my content. I'm also going to throw in a couple page breaks here just to space things out from the header. And now let's look at our framework over here. It's a very simple, humble framework, as you can see. And we have our list right here. It's got the various conjugations. And as you can see, the styling of it is still not very good, but we're going to work on that in the next lesson. In this case, we do have some styling, though. We centered it in the body. As you can see, we actually centered everything in the body by modifying the body tag. So that's an interesting property. What this is called an inline style sheet, CSS. So if you want to check that out, you can. And now to make the content for the next case, just so we have a little more content on this page. And again, we're using block elements, so I'm going to show you how these things interact. So this is the plural case, and once again we want to have a definition list like so. I could also just copy and paste, that'd be pretty simple. And what do we need in between the DL tags? Once again, we need these list items, and now I'm going to fill in the content. Okay, and once again we have closed off the list here with these closing tags. You can notice the pattern. Closing tags always have this same pattern. You get the less than and the forward slash. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, cool. Now we have our singular case and our plural case. It's still not looking good, however, it is spaced out properly with line breaks. So we have one on top of the other. This would not happen unless we had block element tags surrounding the content. So now we see some of the value of these block elements. And I'm going to show you one more important rule with block elements that you're going to run into quite a bit. And that is this. You're going to want to sometimes put elements inside of other elements. But you're going to notice that block elements don't always work right with other kind of elements. If you put a block element into an inline element, you're going to have some problems. And this is the type of problem that's going to come up a lot So bear this in mind. Now I'm going to demonstrate this very quickly. This is a div inside of a span. The div is the block element. And so that you can see the div, I'm going to give it a width and height. And I'm also going to give it a color, background hyphen color. And I'm going to change that to orange. Also going to throw a similar style tag, inline style sheet, into the span. And let's see what we have here. Oh, look at this. We have a div here of a big block, but it looks like we have no span at all. Well, here's a fundamental point about spans, about inline elements. You have to have text for them to be visible. And you can see now that we put text in here, it's visible. But this block element over here is not inside of this span. No, they're next to each other. The div has, in other words, jumped out of the span. So let's see what happens when we flip this around and we put the span inside of the div. Now this is of course what you're supposed to do. This is how you style things with divs. You'll notice you can put the block element, or you can put the inline element right inside the block element, no problem. And you could also put other block elements inside of a div, and that's the general way of styling a page. Almost any page is going to be styled like that. You can check out the source code of any page. It's going to be using divs to style everything. So that's the basics of block elements. You see how they're used to style the page. Give me a thumbs up on the video, subscribe if you like it, and thanks for tuning in. Peace.